Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Omaha News. I'm Kevin Grace.
And I'm Jiaxing Liu. Coming up, we'll show you how two incumbents are gearing up for the City Council primary election on April 2nd.
Also, reporter Ernest Powell is live in the newsroom to give us more information on how Omaha can afford to take care of the streets after these previous snowstorms. You're watching the Omaha News.
This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
Nebraska Senator Scott Lautenbach has apologized for his arrest light for driving under the influence. A Douglas County deputy arrested Lautenbach last night. His blood alcohol content was 0.234, well over the Nebraska limit of 0.08. Lautenbach, who represents District 18, says he will undergo immediate alcohol evaluation and take whatever action is recommended. Lautenbach was recently successful in drafting and getting passed a bill to reorganize the Omaha School Board.
The deadline has passed for City Council incumbents to file their papers to run for another term, but Tasia Velasquez talks to two members who are getting ready for another 4 years.
With the primary election for City Council on April 2nd, incumbents are preparing for another term. District 4 Councilman Gary Grenand addresses his priorities for the South Omaha District.
I certainly have a red flyer wagon full of things that are in various stages of implementation, and certainly after an 11-year attempt of getting a 311 system, I think that's going to be one of the things that I will continue to work on, because I firmly believe that this brings the citizens of a community closer to their government.
District 1 Councilman Pete Festerson tells us what he plans to bring in his second term.
Well, the main thing is to keep our neighborhood safe and strong. I think that's the most important thing we can do as a city and as a city council person. But what I hope to do is continue to put more police on our streets and more new cruisers as we've started to do just this week. We want to make sure we get the city's finances in order and hold the line on spending and hold the line on taxes. But then I want to continue my work in my business districts to make sure we're creating a positive way of life in all of our neighborhoods and a good business environment for those merchants to grow and for it to be great places for families to be and to grow as a community and keep our neighborhood safe and strong.
The deadline for non-incumbents to file for the Omaha City Council is March 1st, 2013. For the Omaha News, I'm Tasia Velasquez.
The polls will open Tuesday, April 2nd.
Omaha Mayor Jim Suttle yesterday announced recommendations that came from his Omaha's Working Job Tour. Suttle met with 40 business leaders to learn how city government can further stimulate job growth in Omaha. Some key points in the conference were focusing on investing dollars from his fiscal 2014 budgets into initiatives that connect job trainers with employers in high-demand industries. Suttle also plans to explore options to enhance tax increment financing in order to help local business looking to start up or relocate inside the freeway loop. He said he will continue to work with Omaha business leaders on initiatives to sustain his momentum.
With the recent snowfall, Omaha residents are not the only ones who must budget for the weather. Ernest Powell is live in the newsroom to tell us how the city of Omaha must also come in line with their snow budget.
Thanks, Kevin. Over the last couple years, Omaha has been seeing milder temperatures in the winter months, but this year, so far, has been more active.
Only problem I really have is not getting no sleep. 13 hours on the job. A lot of hours.
The biggest snowstorm so far this year can cause strains on everyone. When there's snowfall, everyone has to fit the necessities into their budget. Whether it's time off from work because your kids are out of school, or stopping at your local hardware store to grab storm-related merchandise. The city of Omaha also has a budget that it must meet for snowstorms. Because of the mild winter over the last couple of years, the city has come in line with their projected budgets. Snow removal makes up 1/4 of Omaha's street maintenance finances. Wheel tax revenues bring in $18 million of the public work estimated expenses. The budget pays for things like maintenance for trucks, fuel, overtime, and salt. The city also hires over 10 private contractors to help with removal in parking lots and along Dodge Street. Omaha hasn't went over its snow budget since 2009, the same year that Christmas Day seen almost 10 inches of snow, which was one of the snowiest Christmas in Nebraska history. City worker Jim Newport says this storm was a big one, but it could have been worse.
No, we haven't had any. I haven't had any problem driving with all this white stuff falling.
The city purchases salt in bulk and starts to spread the salt grime over the roads before the storm hits, so it melts the snow faster. If Omaha doesn't use all of its projected budget, it could use it in other areas like street resurfacing, park maintenance, or the city just won't use it and call it a net gain at the end of the year. City street crews try to plow residential streets 24 hours after a snowstorm or when major streets are clear of ice and snow.
Ernest, is there any way people can contact someone about an unplowed street?
Yes, they can. If their street has not been plowed, they can call the Public Works Department at 402-444-4919. Kevin?
Thanks, Ernest.
Former Nebraska Senator Chuck Hagel was sworn in today as the new Secretary of Defense. Hagel won approval from the Senate yesterday by a vote of 58-41, the largest opposition to any successful defense secretary nomination in modern history. Hagel will be the first Vietnam veteran to head up the U.S. Department of Defense. President Obama said he found Hagel someone who understood the consequence of decisions we made in this town. Coming up after the break, we'll show you what most students forget to prepare when getting ready for the big interview. Also, how evolution might be the cause of minor and serious back and foot aches.
Reporter Marie Hanusek informs us how one law can affect the choice of the new pope. You're watching the Omaha News.
PBS is the place you should go first.
There are no advertisers to be satisfied, only an audience to be satisfied.
We take our responsibility as journalists very seriously. We are constantly thinking about our viewers and what they care about.
We want to let you know what the information is, and then you decide what you want to think.
At the NewsHour, we are after the facts and only the facts.
You've always known you were a leader. Someone who works hard to achieve your goals. You can see it. You can see your success in front of you. You pursue a college education for the old-fashioned reasons. To learn, to make yourself more valuable, to succeed. You need a place that celebrates your ambition and positions you alongside visionary people just like you. You, my friend, belong here, the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
UNO-TV invites you to take a journey around the world, to lush jungles with endangered species, to exotic lands and different cultures, to lost cities beneath the sands. Travel through time to see ancient secrets on the other side of the world, the growth of the American West, or the start of Nebraska's largest city, or just explore our state. Find out about Nebraska in World War II. Learn how Omaha has grown since. Discover the effort to renovate its green spaces, the history of one of its most impressive buildings, or look at its internationally recognized university. For over 20 years, UNO-TV has produced award-winning documentaries that explore, educate, and enlighten. To find out more, call 402-554-2516 or visit unotv.unomaha.edu.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Pope Benedict's resignations take effect tomorrow, and this has many wondering who will fill his shoes. One of the main concerns is whether there will be a new pope in place before Easter, a major feast day in the Catholic Church. Marie Hanusek reports.
With only 1 day left in Pope Benedict's papacy, many Catholics are wondering who the next pope will be.
The job description of the pope is the vicar of Christ, and so as to try and be as Christ would be for his people.
But the Catholic Church has a big problem, a legal problem.
The See of Peter becomes vacant on March the 1st, and so March 15th, as the law stands currently, would be the first day that they could enter the conclave.
The Pope's sudden resignation has church officials scrambling to fill his position by Easter. A church law expert says that Pope Benedict could change that.
If he this week changes the law for this particular case, we could see it emerge earlier.
The law, however, does not prevent church leaders from discussing the candidates before meeting formally.
Well, right now, the cardinals are already gathering in Rome from around the world, and they will have just conversations amongst themselves informally before the conclave process begins.
If the Pope chooses to change the law, there will be more time for the papal conclave to deliberate and make their decision. For the Omaha News, I'm Marie Hanusek.
Pope Benedict has said that his resignation does not mean he is abandoning the Catholic Church. He says his age has left him unable to be an effective leader.
Americans are more likely to have higher incomes than their parents. According to data from the new Pew Economic Mobility Project, the income greatly depends on a person's race, education, and parents' income level. Some 83% exceed their parents' income by at least $1,000. People born rich are more likely to greatly out-earn their parents. 27% raised in higher-level income families made $50,000 more than their parents. Although some are exceeding in income, it's not the same as wealth and aren't as financially secure.
In other financial news, the job fairs are coming. Many students often work hard on resumes and interview preparation, but sometimes forget or neglect their clothes. A good impression sets the tone for the entire interview. UNO Career Center gives us tips for how to dress. Getting a job or not depends on not only your skill talent, but also your professionalism.
You're trying to get a job, not a date, and so you want to dress as you would for meeting with a recruiter and not as you would on Friday night going out with your friends.
A first impression could influence the entire interview.
If you've shown up dirty, you don't smell good, or gentlemen have come in and not taken off their cap. It's not the most important thing, but it does play a factor.
During this month, UNO Career Center launches the Career Classic program focusing on how to dress. They collect professional attire from the community members and provide students with clothing and ideas for matching for interviews and internships. Career Classics provides different kinds of professional attire, including suits, jazz pants, jazz shirts, skirts, blouses, and ties. Katie Wessel, the UNO Career Center advisor, gives students suggestions for clothing selection.
You'll notice that typically it's going to be solid colors. So a button-up shirt for guys or girls is appropriate underneath a suit jacket. This is an example of a suit with the skirt option.
If you have any questions, feel free to call or stop by the Career Center and make an appointment. The phone number to call is 402-554-3672.
According to Georgetown University's Center on Education and Workforce, nearly 30% of Americans with associate's degrees are making more than those with bachelor's degrees. In another state, results show community college graduates right out of school make more than graduates of four-year universities. Community college graduates from Tennessee and Virginia reported making anywhere from $1,300 to $2,500 more dollars than recent bachelor's degree graduates. Coming up on our program, we'll show you why many people in the Metro aren't too scared about the tax deadline on April 15th, and how you guys can get yours done in the comfort of your own home.
Also, reporter Jerry Meyer gives us a look at the construction happening on UNO's campus and how one football field can be transformed into another type of football field. You are watching the Omaha News.
something wasn't right.
Were they lying to the public?
There was a bigger story here than just a plane crash.
It's become the symbol of everything that's wrong with the industry.
My kid got 6 vaccines in one day and he regressed.
Not only are those children who aren't vaccinated at risk, but those who can't be vaccinated are at risk.
Nobody really knew what was going on. What was it in this market that had to be hidden?
I spent millions of dollars in cash bribing government officials.
People in power do not like the investigation to come too close to them.
You never hear these stories.
Tuesdays on NET1.
NET Television expands your mind, enlightens your mind, inspires your mind, educates your mind, entertains your mind. NET Television opens up new worlds to you. Explore, travel, learn, discuss, debate. NET Television keeps you informed. Music, theater, dance, art, news. NET Television awakens your dreams, seeks to serve, strengthens our communities. We are Nebraskans. We are NET Television, Nebraska's PBS station.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Welcome back to the Omaha News. I'm Jiaxing Liu.
And I'm Kevin Grace. While the Ides of March may conjure up thoughts of Shakespeare and Caesar, the Ides of April can conjure up anxiety and stress for Americans. Tax Day, as April 15th is known, doesn't have to be as painful as it used to.
I'm pretty good with numbers, so I've been doing it for years, and it takes me 10 minutes to do all of my taxes.
Alex Gunnis doesn't sweat the April 15th tax deadline like many people do, because he files his taxes online. Filing online allows taxpayers the ability to save a trip to the post office and can ease the burden of paperwork that accompanies the annual headache.
I always file my taxes through, I believe it's called taxact.com. They charge like $15 to $30 somewhere in there. Depends upon if you want to do federal and state or just one or the other. So,
Alex says to make sure the website you use is credible and always use caution when putting your personal information online. Filing online is increasing in popularity, but the brick and mortar tax outlets like H&R Block are still hotspots this time of year. Inside, agents will assist you in filing for a fee. Omaha's local branch of the IRS is here at 16th and Capitol in the Edward R. Zorinsky Federal Building. Any Omahan with questions is encouraged to schedule an appointment to come and talk to an IRS agent. Derek his taxes online, but offers a tip that can alleviate the stress no matter how you file.
I've always found it's easiest to have my paperwork all together before I start doing my taxes. So you can go online and see kind of what they're looking for you to have, so you can create a checklist and make sure that you have all of your paperwork ready.
If circumstances prevent you from filing before the deadline, you can request an extension through the IRS.
After your taxes are filed, you can finally get a good night's sleep. In a recent study from the University of Pennsylvania, 22 healthy adults participate in a 4-night study to measure sleep deprivation. These adults slept for 9 hours the first night and then went back 24 hours without sleeping and spent 2 nights getting recovered sleep following. And the results show that after the first regular night and the 2 recovery days following an all-nighter, the brain showed the same activity for both nights.
UNO's Al Caniglia Field is getting a makeover. Reporter Jared Meyer has more.
If you've been walking around UNO's campus, you might have been hearing all the construction ripping up the former football field. No worries though, UNO is not destroying the whole field. They're just getting set to put in a new turf for both the soccer teams for this upcoming fall. Head coach Don Klosterman says that the stadium will save more time for training and practice.
Since we started the program 15 years ago, we've had to practice off campus. Well, on campus technically, but a bit of a distance from the field house and distance from the main campus. So it did, in the past, cut into our training time a little bit, and then a bit of an inconvenience for the players to drive there, practice, drive back, go to class, you know, do all those things. So I think from the standpoint of giving us more training time, it'll help giving our players a better chance as far as getting to class, not having to rush, maybe coming up using the study room. So I think there's a lot of things that are going to change and be all positive things for us.
Assistant Athletic Director Josh White says the athletic department cannot wait for it to be completed.
Athletic administrators, coaches, of course, the student athletes are really thrilled that they're going to be playing on a new field turf, soccer pitch, as you say, this fall. It's really exciting for our department.
As soon as the soccer pitch is complete, UNO expects it to be the top 10 college soccer stadium in the country. For the Omaha News, I'm Jared Meyer.
The first game to be played on the new soccer pitch will be on August 11th for both the men's and women's teams.
7 Omaha area girls high school basketball teams are heading down to Lincoln tomorrow to participate in the state tournament, including 6 of the 8 teams in Class A. Here are the matchups. At 9 a.m., the 2-seed Middle West, who need a game-winning basket by Samantha Wondrum to beat Kearney in their district final, plays Lincoln Northeast. Then, the Bellevue East Chieftains take on Nebraska recruit Jess Shepard and Lincoln Southeast at 10:45.
At 2 p.m., the number 1 seed Bellevue West, who rolls into the state with a 43-point win over North Star and a 32-point win over Westside in their district, plays wild card Omaha Benson. In the 4-5 matchup, the Mustangs of Millard North go up against the defending champs Omaha Central.
In Class B, the Granite Lady Dragons play Norris at the Pershing Center at 10:45 a.m. Following the break, reporter Katie Wagner shows us how the LD are making an attempt to keep up with the ever-changing technology and how some programs are willing to lend the helping hand.
Also, Lauren Harrahill gives us insight on Omaha Beer Week and how local pubs, bars, and breweries have come together to promote craft beer. You're watching the Omaha News.
Something new
or reach beyond.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
When you want to peer inside.
There's something wrong here. This isn't normal.
Will it seem almost impossible or push the limit?
Large tornado! It's humongous! We need to get out now!
When you want to dive deep.
These divers are like astronauts.
Our human nature is to push into places that we don't know about.
Or go to the edge.
There are other worlds out there.
We don't know exactly what we're going to find.
When you want to find new frontiers.
I was truly astonished.
You just don't ever know.
Nova.
Wednesdays on NET1.
Technology is changing before our eyes. For senior citizens, the changes have been so dramatic that taking a computer class may be the only way to keep them up to date in what is becoming a digital world. Reporter Katie Wagner speaks with the member of a computer class that is held at the Florence Branch Library.
The computer language is almost a whole new language.
Hazel Burgess is one of many senior citizens who is learning the ins and outs of technology through a computer class that is being taught at the library for free.
What I knew about the computer was that this was a mouse because it had a tail when I came into this class.
Hazel is now learning how to set up her own email account.
There are times when it's fun and times when it drives me nuts.
With all the technologies around us, from our cell phones to computers, it can be difficult to keep up.
I've been taking classes to try to catch up. I've studied, I go over it,
and I still seem like I get brain freeze.
The challenges of navigating around the computer hasn't stopped Carol from wanting to learn more about what the computer can do for her.
I'm learning a lot. It's been very helpful. I've even thought about doing it again, you know, to really get the gist of all of it, but it's been very interesting.
The computer classes for senior citizens have been going on for the past 2 years and are currently sponsored by AARP. For the Omaha News, I'm Katie Wagner.
For more information about the computer classes, you can visit any of the branch libraries that hold them. They are currently being held at the Florence Branch and Washington Branch Public Libraries in Omaha.
For the past 2 years, local Omaha pubs, bars, and breweries have come together to promote craft beer by holding Omaha Beer Week. As Lauren Harahill reports, the event has become a place where brewers can promote their craft.
Beertopia's Extreme Beer Fest was a one-day convention meant to bring together the best craft beers and home brews in one place, giving beer connoisseurs over 300 brews to try. Over 1,000 tickets were available, but the event still sold out in advance. Joe Shearer, one of the attendees, said that every beer fest is fun, but this year the brewers took things up a notch.
The South Omaha Brewers, the SOBs, have their Ghostbuster beers, which are really great. There's Magnum PI themed beers and 80s and 90s cartoon beer.
The South Omaha Brewers made sure that they would go all out with the Ghostbusters theme.
This is the first year we've taken a theme kind of to the extreme. This is actually a 3-gallon keg. We have beer guns so we can pour beer directly out of it, so it's been a lot of fun.
Some brewers aren't just here for fun, but to do business as well.
It's fantastic for us. It's a new market that we just got into in the last few months. So being here at this festival, we get out in front of the crowd and get to meet fantastic people here in Omaha.
No matter if you're a brewer or beer fan, at Extreme Beer Fest, just remember. The goal is still to try new beers, drink responsibly, and have fun.
Organizers say the event has become so popular that they may move to a larger venue next year.
Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Omaha News. If you are looking for more, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/The Omaha News.
While you're there, you can check out the news stories our reporters covered, submit ideas, or give us feedback. We'd love to hear from you. From all of us here at the Omaha News and UNO Television, good night.
UNO Television gives students a chance to work in a real studio. Working on the TV crew, students get hands-on experience with lights, camera, and action. Working on a variety of shows gives students a leg up looking for jobs. In fact, many former crew members work at local stations. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for students to learn the science and art of TV production. UNO TV, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
When will you look deep into space? When will you travel back in time? When will you experience the power of red? When? Anytime. Online at video.netnebraska.org. Search, select, and share with the NET Video Player. Watch our shows on your schedule.
What if there were a neighborhood where every child felt they belonged, and a big dog helped them stay little a little longer? A monkey helped them find the wonder in every little thing, and a flightless bird showed them how to soar. Support the people and programs that never stop asking, what if?